Good afternoon and welcome to the 9th Annual Caring Hearts Luncheon for Arizona Autism United. My name is Neely Burkhart and I am the president of AZA United's Board of Directors. This event is dear to my heart because it allows us to bring everyone together to learn about how this organization impacts our community through its mission to help as many families as possible. I have the pleasure to be here today with one of my dearest friends and the chairperson of this year's luncheon, Mrs. Jamie Zarowski.
Thank you, Neely, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I am Jamie Zarowski, and it is my honor to chair this year's luncheon. I look forward to this event every year, and although we cannot be physically together, I am very excited for the program today. This year, we are celebrating the resilience of the families we serve, our employees, and our supporters. 2020 has been a challenging year where resilient hearts have found ways to succeed and be triumphant. Thank you again for being here today, and enjoy the program.
Hello, my friends, and thank you for joining us. 2020 has been quite a year for all of us, with many changes and the need to reimagine how we can keep our favorite traditions alive. We hope you enjoyed this virtual version of our annual Caring Hearts Luncheon. We're sad that we can't see you in person today, but we're excited that we've been able to open up this event to anyone and everyone. So today, you're going to hear firsthand from some of our families and members of Team AZA about the work we do and how it impacts the autism community right here in Arizona. I'd like to take a moment to recognize this year's elite sponsor, DesignWorks Gaming. DWG is a local company that believes in giving employment opportunities to people with diverse skills and abilities, and they proudly support community efforts to enhance opportunities for people on the autism spectrum. Thank you, DWG, for all you've done to support AZA in many ways, for many years. I also want to thank all of the other sponsoring organizations that are supporting this event and helping us expand our services to more families across Arizona. It's been a year unlike any other, and it's required an exceptional amount of resilience from all of us. And for that reason, our theme this year is Resilient Hearts. When the pandemic first arrived, AZA as an organization faced enormous challenges and uncertainty, but the resilient dedication of our incredible team of staff and board members pushed us through. The families we serve have faced all kinds of challenges with no easy solutions, and our kids have had to adapt to a whole new set of rules and norms in society without any time to prepare. For a child that already needs help mastering the complexities of social interaction, this would seem to be an enormous feat. But we've seen so many examples of perseverance and success, which is why these kids are the most resilient hearts of all. Now, throughout the year, we've created new ways to safely provide services to families. In some cases, that requires new daily protocols to minimize the risks of COVID transmission. And in other cases, we've been able to effectively utilize telehealth and virtual support. I'm so proud of our team and the dedication they've shown to help our kids and families no matter what. 2020 has been full of changes, but our mission to help as many families as possible with individualized supports still remains exactly the same.
We were really scared when COVID happened and everything was locked down because my youngest son has apraxia, which is a severe speech disorder in addition to his autism. And at 5 years old, he's right in that window where everything is so critical to be learning and growing and brain development. And we were able to continue speech services because AZA United offered telehealth services.
Parents have been able to give us quite a bit of feedback about teletherapy. I think a piece that they've all shared that they've been happy about is they're able to be much more engaged in the session now. So a lot of our clients still need maybe tangible activities to work with. And so our therapists will send home matching cards or receptive ID cards. And then the mom or the dad is able to run that with the child. And so they're actively engaged in the session.
And I would say too, particularly with like working with AZA and his ABA services, even though he had other ancillary services like OT and speech, I don't think that he would be where he is today without the ABA, because it really supplemented and brought together some of his other treatment approaches. And I would say it really gave us our life back.
So we have a lot of learners who continue to receive their direct therapy services via telehealth on a regular basis, and those families receive parent training where we're guiding those parents through implementing their goals via telehealth. It's amazing how effective it's been. You know, these learners without receiving telehealth services would not be receiving any ABA services at all.
The clinical family coaching program that we have here in AZA United is a program that was designed to improve the stability of families' lives.
We were sort of at the last chance. He was being released from the hospital, and my case manager recommended that I try this coaching team from Arizona Autism United. And honestly, I rolled my eyes because we've been through coaching about 5 times before. It was never helpful. It was never oriented towards their true disabilities. I can't really say enough about how much I appreciate them and how much we've come to rely on them. I appreciate the fact that they're working with all 3 kids to try to create a more healthy dynamic in the house. And I hope to keep working with them because really they've been the only team that I've ever had that has been able to help me make significant progress. Thank you, Arizona Autism United.
Every day, we hear from new families who need our help. Before COVID, we were providing about 20,000 hours of direct care services every month. But since COVID, that number has skyrocketed to more than 35,000. Families have needed our help more than ever before. And by the end of this year, we will have provided about 350,000 hours of individualized supports to children and families across the valley. These hours include a mix of multidisciplinary therapy, ABA treatment, speech therapy, feeding therapy, clinical family coaching, habilitation, respite, and attendant care. All of these are critical supports that make it possible for families to overcome the challenges of autism and achieve their personal definitions of success. For those of you who have attended our luncheon before, you know we've been working on a plan for several years to open a new center as our first step toward our long-term goal of statewide expansion. Last year, we were very excited to announce we had finally found the perfect building for our first expansion site in the city of Mesa. Achieving that milestone was only possible because of the financial support we received from the Abbott Family Foundation, Thunderbirds Charities, and many individual donors who are now recognized by name on our donor wall right inside the building. I'm standing here right now in front of our new East Valley Center, or as we call it, the EVC. It's a beautiful standalone building on a nice quiet side street that feels cozy and safe. And we had our grand opening planned in March, but unfortunately, the COVID wave arrived just a week before the big day, and all plans had to be put on hold. So after spending a few months developing new safety protocols, we were finally able to start services in June at a limited capacity. And since then, we have provided over 3,000 hours of ABA treatment and speech therapy services right here at the EVC. And the progress we have seen in just that short time has been nothing short of remarkable. As COVID conditions improve, we look forward to expanding our services and helping many more children at the EVC in 2021 and for many more years to come.
Logan, my son, had lots of difficulties with autism before starting at the East Valley Clinic. Even though that we had been working on with him for his delayed development since the age of 2, he could not speak more than 20 words, could barely put 2 words together to make a sentence. He could not feed himself. He could not dress himself.
It was really quiet in the beginning because as soon as we opened, the pandemic hit. So it was just Logan and I, and he's pretty nonverbal. I don't remember him babbling much at all. We did a lot of imitation. Everything was imitation at first. Gross motor movements, catching ball, throwing ball. And then what I did was just talk to him about everything. Everything we did. Like, we would go to the bathroom. Okay, we're gonna go to the bathroom now. And like, I would tact and label everything that we did.
Stop.
Stop. Now what?
Green light go.
Green light.
Green
light go. Go puppies go.
He started with the clinic, and within a couple of weeks of just getting used to the new routine, he started thriving there. He has been there for 8 to 9 months, and he can feed himself, he can dress himself, he can draw, color. He likes to play with Play-Doh now, which we couldn't even get him to touch before. He's even willing to try out new foods, which we've been working for years upon. He's now talking in 3 to 4 sentences. He has a much larger vocabulary and is doing so well that he even knows all of his ABCs and can count. The amount of change that he has made in that short amount of time has just been phenomenal. It sometimes feels like that you fail as a parent when your child's not where they need to be, but some children just need to have that little bit of extra help, and some parents just need to have that little bit of extra help of the experts that want to try different things.
Yeah, he repeats a lot of the stuff that I say. So as soon as I'll walk away from the car at the end of a session, he'll say like, see you tomorrow or see you later. And that's definitely something that I say. So he's picked up those little mannerisms too. It has generalized. He plays more with sister. And then he tells me, he's able to tell me that he plays with Mickey. And he makes Mickey go behind him and hide and say peekaboo and comes out.
His care coordinator, Kaylee, helps us with parent training, as well as keeps us up to date on his plan, which apparently sometimes has to be changed on a weekly basis because of the quick progress that he makes. And his therapist, Brittany, gives us daily notes and updates and communicates with us all the time about what he's doing, what is or is not working. They work on everything for him, everything that he is behind in, anything from toilet training, which we've been working on, he's almost mastered already, which is also another amazing feat for him, to feeding, to social skills, to communication, to small motor skills and large motor skills. They work on it all, and we could not be happier.
I would say one of my favorite moments from working with Logan is when he learned my name. I think that just melts my heart when he's like, hi Brittany, or bye Brittany, and I'm like, ah. Like seeing him get excited to come here and like play with me and work with me and not see it as work is like makes my day. I love it.
We found AZA because I actually used to work for Arizona Autism United. My career is in education, and I worked for AZA before, and I know autism. I thought I did. He couldn't communicate with us. He couldn't tell us what he wanted. All he could do was script things from his favorite shows, which was usually like, oh no, are you okay? Or, oh no, those Umi dollars are gone. What are we going to do? And I didn't know what all of that meant. I knew he was upset. And he knew I knew he was upset, but we couldn't communicate. And so I reached out to AZA, and it was actually right at the time they were getting ready to open their East Valley clinic. And I jumped on that opportunity. And that is probably my happiest, proudest moment mom moment of my life because I didn't give up on that. And those services have just made all of the difference for our son.
He was my very first client, very first morning I started at AZA, and so we were both brand new to it all. And Kendra warned me, she's like, okay, you get this beauty, you better make sure you do your job still. And he was just so ready to learn the minute he came in.
Brody, when he first started, he would play with two things: Play-Doh, spaceships. Matching was hard, listener responding was hard, and the biggest thing, he was verbal prompt dependent on anything. So everything that he said needed a vocal prompt for him to finish the statement. Now, he loves to interact, wants your attention, and thrives for your attention, stops people in the hall, says hi to everybody. He plays with so many different toys now, and he's just blossomed into this super fun, happy kid that really, really enjoys being here.
He's been working on potty training, and they let us know that he was gonna start to go at home in his underwear, but then he got up and he said, I need to use potty. And he went to the bathroom right away, and she sent us an email telling us about that celebration that night. And so that's just so rewarding for us to hear too.
He wasn't talking 7 months ago, and now that's all he does. He's able to have back and forth conversations with people. When he wants his grandma or his sister to come play with him, he'll come up to them and say, let's go play. They could say, what do you want to do? So he'll say, let's go jump. I want to jump. And they'll say, where? He'll say, I want to go to my room. And we'll sit there just in awe at how long can this conversation go, because it never has happened before. And so this is all something so new for our family, but it's truly because of the work that the girls at the clinic have put in with my son every single day.
Sometimes we teach things and they're not quite generalized to the family yet, so the family doesn't really know what their kids are capable of. So I think it's really special for them to see.
So working with Brody, he is just so joyful. He'll come in and say, hi everybody, or walking past another BT, how are you today? Seeing some of those.
It's really evident that all of the BTs really enjoy working with Brody. If you just sit back and watch their session, you can just tell that they really enjoy each other. So it's really special to see, Paige on the floor with him or racing across the playground.
3, 2, 1, go!
I used to be his favorite. I was the first name he said here. And now he's moved on to Kendra.
He does have a thing with favorites. So he has favorite people. His favorite person, he started out with Miss Paige, and Paige was his absolute favorite anytime Paige walked by. Other people were fun, they just weren't Paige. Then it has evolved into myself. I am just the best thing, which is the best compliment in the world, and anytime I need my cup filled, I just have to go spend 10 minutes with Brody.
He is so excited every day to go to therapy. On the weekends when, unfortunately, the clinic's closed, he's constantly begging us, I want therapy, time to go to therapy, and we have to say, no, Brody, not today, and he's like, oh no! He loves it.
If we can get him to learn all these different ways to play with various toys when he goes to the next birthday party, or over to a cousin's house or a friend's house, or goes and sees a group of kids, he can join in them and create those friendships naturally because he knows how to interact with those kids.
The East Valley Clinic ABA therapy has completely changed our life, Brody's life. He has so much more opportunity being presented to him now than he did even 6 months ago. So if any of them are watching, thank you.
Some of these kiddos are going home and they're starting to request things independently. They're starting to play with their siblings or their cousins at home, and those are things that the parents didn't see before. You do these little goals at a time, or you see the staff doing them, but they add up over time.
It's play-based. They have absolutely no idea that they are working, spending 10, 15, 20, 30 hours a week doing therapy. And in that, we are mixing in very specific strategic teaching strategies to get them to learn specific concepts.
I think it's meant a lot to our BT staff in the clinic getting that exposure, because if you have a question, there's someone there. If you need help, there's someone there.
I enjoyed my time working in home as a BT for 2 years, but it's really cool to have this experience now, working in the clinic and more of that team environment.
The thing I'm most happy with here is everybody's kindness. Everybody's sweet and kind and sincere. You walk in and they genuinely want to know, how was your morning? How was your afternoon? They talk to the kids with kindness. The kids talk to me back with kindness. And you can just feel it in the air and in the environment when you're going around room to room. Everybody's just happy and pleasant and happy to be here.
AZA United has now been serving the Valley for 15 years. One of our defining principles has always been to focus on supporting the whole family, because an autism diagnosis affects everyone who is close to that child. I want to share a story with you now about a very talented clinician on our team who also has 3 siblings on the autism spectrum. We first met Betsy when she was just 15 years old. I personally visited her family's home to do an initial assessment of her twin brothers, who had just turned 3. We noticed Betsy's interest in her brothers right away, so we invited her to be part of the conversation. Little did I know that 10 years later, she'd be working for us as a rising star in our clinical family coaching program. As a sibling myself, I know what it's like for families to have to focus every ounce of energy they have on the overwhelming needs of a young child with autism. There's an incredible sense of urgency to act fast and prioritize those needs over everything else. But autism is a family affair, and the siblings often end up playing one of the most important roles in that child's life. I think this story demonstrates the power of a family-centered approach to care and making sure that every member of the family can be included.
My siblings started getting services, I think they were, Robin and Ray, they all got services, I think when we were I was in junior high, you were in elementary school, I remember. And around that time, it was non-stop. We had people come in, come out, come in, come out. And already me and Bethel, we were just oh my gosh, we want it to end. But one of the things that stood out to me is that they made conversation with us, with me and my brother, aside, doing the thing that they do best, talking with their parents and interacting with their siblings. They interacted with us. And that was huge because, again, we're kind of viewed in the background as sibs, they just gave attention to us, which was really big. And I remember a little bit here and there, they were just asking us oh, what do you do at school? X, Y, and Z. So it was
that acknowledgement that they gave us, and it meant a lot.
Yeah. We had PAD providers, BCBAs, AVA, RBTs that would come in and just interact with us. And then not only that, they went the extra mile of when they had meetings or intervention plans. Obviously, that's super boring for for any adolescent or elementary kiddo, but the fact that we were asked hey, what do you think if we did this with your siblings? Or, oh, do you want to jump in and do this thing?
Just the fact that we were given a seat at the table was just really big.
It was huge. And so AZA United, that stuck with us, even us growing up. I'm 26 now, my brother's 20, and to this day, we still talk about that, and it impacted us even as adults going into our professional lives. We're ever so grateful for that. We're grateful for them to continue to grow, whatever that might look like, because that looks different for many of our children. They're all unique. And I cannot wait when they're adults and see what they do in their life.
There are many things we'll remember about the year 2020. Our world has faced challenges we never imagined, and we know there remains a difficult path ahead. Now is the time to lean on each other and to do what we can to help others. We are all resilient hearts, and together we make up a community that can overcome anything. I want to thank you for taking the time to participate in this year's Caring Hearts Luncheon and for supporting the work that AZA United continues to do. As the needs of our families have evolved, we are looking ahead, and we have some big plans for 2021. The EVC was designed to be a replication site, so we'll be working hard to open our next center on the other side of the valley. We're also excited to begin offering individual and family counseling services for the first time. This program will serve children and adults on the autism spectrum who need a different approach to treatment than what we currently have to offer. We plan to merge this service with a first-of-its-kind special needs diagnostic clinic in a new holistic model we call Support from the Start. We can't wait to share more information as these initiatives come to life, which will increase access to care for underserved families and reduce delays for getting a diagnosis and starting early intervention. All of this remains possible because of the incredible support of our donor base. As a nonprofit, we don't have access to the kind of investor funding that corporate autism providers receive. But we also don't build programs to generate profits. We are defined by our mission to help families and change lives, and every dollar we generate goes back into furthering those efforts. We know the autism community still has many needs that are not being addressed, and we consider it our responsibility to help find ways to solve them all. We've come a long way in 15 years, but I know the best is yet to come. We have just a few more things to share with you before today's event concludes, including our annual favorite, the Family Photo Contest slideshow. Thank you for your support, and I hope to see you again soon.
For several years, I have proudly been involved in supporting Arizona Autism United as a board member, volunteer, and donor. My personal connection to autism began 10 years ago when my nephew was diagnosed. Since that time, several of my dearest friends have had children affected by autism. I have personally witnessed how AZA United has positively impacted their lives forever. It is my privilege to continue to support this amazing organization, and I hope you can join me in doing so today. During our program, you have had the opportunity to hear from families and staff about how critical AZA United services are. From teaching basic daily living skills to improving very challenging behaviors so children can live at home with their families and succeed within the community. This is what your donations mean to those that we serve. It is estimated that 1 in 54 children have autism. These are the highest rates we have ever seen, and that's why your support is so important. Your donation today will help AZA United continue its expansion into different parts of the valley so more underserved families can access supports and services. Your contribution will also qualify for the Arizona Charitable Organization Tax Credit. This simple program gives donors a 100% dollar-for-dollar refund on your donation. Individual donors can donate up to $400 and get it all back when you file your taxes. Married couples filing jointly can claim up to $800. This tax credit is different from the categories you've seen at schools and churches. The good news is the state of Arizona allows you to claim them all, so you don't have to pick and choose. AZA United will send you all the information you need to claim your tax credit successfully. Of course, you can donate any amount, either under or over the tax credit limits. Anything you can do to help is deeply appreciated and will help us reach so many more families. Please consider making a donation today by clicking on the link you have received via email or text. It's easy, it's secure, and it can make a world of difference. On behalf of everyone here at AZA United, I want to wish you a very happy holiday season and thank you so much for your support.
I hope you enjoyed our program as much as we did. Thank you for being a part of our event today.
Thank you to the families and staff that participated in our video with your powerful stories of perseverance, resilience, and success. Also, thank you to our event sponsors. Your support is greatly appreciated. And finally, thank you so much to all of you that joined us today. We hope to see you again next year. Have a great rest of your day.